Welcome to Breaking the Vow on Strong Island Radio. This is a show where we turn pain into power and find recovery after divorce, separation, and breakups. This is where we push the emotional hang-ups to the side and create a plan to reach our best possible potential. This is where the next chapter starts and how the healing begins. So let's welcome your hosts, Theresa D. and Benny, the life coach.
And welcome to another episode of Breaking the Vow. I am Theresa D, and I'm here with my co-host,
Benny, the life coach. So we just had this massively intense show.
Yeah, it was an amazing show.
And I'm so excited because this show,
Oh,
I don't know, it's probably going to be more intense or less
Yes,
intense
it
or the
is.
same intense, but I'm already freaking out. So, you know what? Without further ado, sir, this show, by the way, Backs the Blue, please introduce yourself.
That's appreciated. I'm Detective Joe Giramonte with the Queens Child Abuse Squad of NYPD.
Welcome to the neighborhood, pal.
Thank you.
So talk to what is
First pod ever.
first podcast? Well, we'll do the
Zoom or
best. So we
whatever.
try to make this as productive as possible. We also want people to feel empowered and supported.
yes.
So, can you fill us in and tell us what your daily life is like at work?
Well, so we, all of us here, we come in, we catch cases of the abuse of children, whether it's physical or sexual.
So safe to say you've seen a few things
Yeah.
that you wish you never saw.
Yeah, and some things you just can't get out of your head.
Yeah, Joe, I don't know how you do it. And mind you, I've known Joe since we're children.
So it's funny that sometimes when you put on a badge, it's a weird thing because as someone that was not always in recovery, there was an us against them mentality, and there is an us against them mentality. Now, what happens? I see a lot of times when people put a badge on, almost they become like a separate entity, like they're not allowed to be human. But the fact is, you still are human.
Right.
You're someone with a family. You have
Yes.
a heart, you have ideas, thoughts, feelings, and all of that.
And a very funny family.
And a
might I
very
add.
very funny family. So then, how do you deal with those things you wish you didn't see or
Yeah.
didn't know?
It's not easy. I try to compartmentalize and try to not take what I see here home with me, but it doesn't always work. I mean,
Right.
there have been more than a few cases where, even though my kids are now 14 and 16, that I still check in on them when I go to bed. And I
Right.
get home from work at like 1:45 in the morning, and
Good.
I always give them a kiss goodnight.
Yes.
What time it is.
Good.
And my son will be in a coma, but my daughter always seems to roll over, and sometimes she has like a special connection, I guess, and she just knows, and she'll give me a long hug, no matter what, when she feels.
Yeah. That's the daddy-daughter
yeah.
connection. That never goes away.
Yeah,
Yeah, but the thing
Yeah,
about that I think is so valuable that I want to discuss is the fact that it normalizes the fact that you're human.
Right.
hmm
And at the same time, what you've seen, things that I've seen as a specialist, things that Theresa has seen, it's inhuman.
Yeah.
It's inhumane. And you get to the point where you I cannot even fathom
Yeah.
how
How do you
somebody
wrap
would
your
treat
head
that.
around that?
treat a child in such a way or hurt a child like that. That's
it just amazes me how people do that to anybody in general, one another. I mean, we're all supposed to be, humans, and we're all supposed to be there for each other. But
Right.
just like nowadays, especially, all people want to do is separate themselves from the other and hurt one
Right.
another.
we're definitely
We're
living
living in it.
We're living in tough times
living it.
and strange times. So, listen, especially with COVID, mental illness, depression, anxiety is at a rise. So some of the things that I've been dealing with is, opiate overdoses on the rise, alcohol-related deaths on the rise, spousal abuse on the rise, domestic violence on the rise.
And child abuse.
Child abuse is
on the rise.
Now, we deal with breaking the vow. We talk about divorce a lot. And, it's amazing to me that people will actually use their child as a pawn without even caring about the damage or potential damage they could do to a child. I mean, do you see a lot of that with divorce and what happens?
I can't even tell you how many times I see that.
Exactly.
Well, can you talk? Okay, so talk to us. Tell us what kids should be doing. Tell us what people can be doing to help on something like that.
Unfortunately, the way I view it, a lot of people don't want to be involved. They don't want to help, and they actually think that they're helping when they're not. Like we get teachers that will report child abuse because a kid will come in with a bruise on his or her shin, and the kid will just say, "I fell off my bicycle." And don't get me wrong, sometimes it can be child abuse, but the teachers or whoever will badger the child and to say, till the kid changes the story, and then they call it in and say, "Oh, they're inconsistent," and they make an abuse case. Hospitals are the same way. They call in cases all the time without any support evidence. And
Joe, do you think it's a lack of education?
I think, yes. I think these are educated people, but a lot of them don't really know what child abuse is.
Right.
Dumb people by any means. But they call them in, not just because it's a lack of education, but because in New York City, in particular, they're told to just call things in.
Right.
That it's just past the buck, really.
Right.
So they call it in, and unfortunately, the buck stops here.
Right, and they let you investigate it rather than investigating it themselves at first, correct?
Exactly. They don't want to. Again, I'm not faulting them because they're doing what they were to do by their legal departments in the hospitals or whoever at the schools. They're just doing what they're told. So I'm not faulting anybody, but what that does is that overburdens all abuse squads and children's services and emergency children's services that works at night. Everybody gets overburdened by nonsense cases, and we get.
How do you weed that out, though? How do you weed out, okay, this one's real, but this one isn't, and this one is, but this one isn't? How do you do that?
Unfortunately, we can't just say, "Oh, look at one and go, this is nonsense."
Right.
We have to go through the motions. I don't like using that term. We have to go through the investigative steps.
Right.
And we have to interview everybody.
Right.
No matter what, whoever's mentioned in the report, we have to speak to in one way, shape, or form.
Right.
And we can't get a hold of them. We have to document that we did try on multiple occasions to speak with said person and was unsuccessful. I had a case just last week. It was exactly like you said, a parent using their child as a pawn.
Yep.
The mother didn't like the father's new girlfriend. And they made a report about that she was sexually abusing her daughter.
So can you tell me what, for something like that, doesn't sound legal to me, what would happen to someone who falsifies a complaint like that?
What's supposed to happen is they're supposed to get charged with a felony.
Right.
The problem is we don't charge them with the felony because it's impossible to prove that you have to prove they intentionally lied. And all the parent has to say is, my child told me this, and they passed on, and then they reported it to the police department or whoever. So
with no caring to what that child might go through after that. Listen, daddy's a bad person, mommy's a bad person. I'm saying this, you're going to say this too. No, that doesn't do anything to the child. Oh my God, that's so ridiculous.
That poor kid.
We had a judge on that talked who had a child, got punished for something. So to get back at daddy, the child said, "Daddy raped me." And they had to go through
Yeah.
all of this turmoil
Yep.
just to realize that was a false accusation.
Accusation.
Yep.
Listen, and if I would rather err on the side of caution, if you think something's going on, I'm a firm believer. You got to tell. If you see something, say something. Isn't that like what
Right.
we say?
Yeah.
The great thing that I'm excited about is everyone has their different levels of professionalism. So if a hospital or a teacher or some person in a level of authority in a child's life says, "Hey, listen, I think someone should look into this."
Something's going on.
The reason why is because you're trained in this and that other person isn't.
Not.
So we're going to go into a commercial break in a couple of seconds, but when we come back, let's talk about what this training is and what goes into
And what can better be done.
Absolutely. So let's pay a few bills, go to the bathroom, get some coffee, and we'll see.
Yeah.
I need coffee. We'll see you guys in a couple of minutes.
Ben, I found the greatest invention ever.
Okay.
I went to take my patio furniture out.
Okay.
And I realized that last year when I put it all away, I put them in these big zipper bags from Wrap America.
Yes.
Life-changing.
Yes. No. Wrap America is awesome. Tommy definitely helped me out on a few different occasions.
It holds patio furniture, wave runners, ATVs. It's weather resistant.
Advanced protection wrap.
Yes.
Is economical and a practical choice.
So call 516-830-0040, or you can go onto their website, wrap-america.com.
All right, since we have a meeting after this in West Islip,
Yes.
I got a place for us to go.
Oh, you do?
Because I'm going to be hungry, so we're going to go to Our Little Italy, 636 Union Boulevard, West Islip, New York, 11795. If you want to know, call 631-661-6246. Pickup and delivery are available. Ask for John. Go on www.ourlittleItalymenu.com to find out what they have.
Oh, I heard they have good chicken parm. Hey, Ben,
Yes.
I need to talk about solar energy.
Okay. I want to hear about
Lighthouse
it.
Energy Partners. Go solar and start saving today.
Makes sense.
Owner, operated by women.
Ooh.
We believe in order to close the gender gap in the energy field, we need to showcase key female players and keeping them behind the scenes. Their mission is to serve clients with the highest level of integrity, stability, and respect by viewing their customers as partners. Any energy project you have in mind, call on Lighthouse Energy, www.lighthouseenergypartners.com, 631-275-0091, located in Babylon Village, New York.
So I have great news. Since we do this show on divorce, when divorce hits, maybe you want to sell the house. Maybe you need a C of O, a certificate of occupancy for certain things in the house. So if you're looking to make some home improvements, need an architect, contact Certified Drafting. Selling your home, need permits for existing structures, need a property survey, contact Certified Drafting. Certified Drafting will handle all building department matters, serving Long Island for over 20 years. www.certifieddrafting.com, office number 516-844-0420, or you can email Kevin Daly at certifieddrafting.com. Tell them you heard about this from the show, from Breaking the Vow, and you're going to receive a 10% discount.
We love Kevin.
I love Kevin. I think that's pretty awesome.
All right.
All right, so we're back. So now, Joe,
Yeah.
talk to us. Like, what was the training that you went through?
We get a lot of extensive training, and it's actually ongoing. We don't just stop training. I've been doing this in the Special Victims Bureau for over 10 years now, closer
God
to 11.
bless.
Thank you. And I've been with the police department over 23 years now. And even before I was in Special Victims, I will say the NYPD does send us for training on a nonstop basis. Some of it is, as you can imagine, useless, and others is great. But when it comes to this, we get sent because I'm in the child abuse squad, we got sent for forensic interviewing tactics of children. There were two separate courses for that. And then they have refresher courses every couple of years. And then we've been sent, or me specifically, I've been sent for interviewing autistic children.
Yes.
Oh my
How
God.
does that work with special needs kids? Like, how do you communicate? Like, what happens?
It's very difficult. Part of the training is and it wasn't the NYPD's, it was an outside agency that the
Right.
NYPD. But with special needs children or non-vocal children, we are always taught to assume that there's normal thinking. I mean, and the example that they used was like Stephen Hawking. If you looked at that guy before he passed, you wouldn't think much of him just because of his physical appearance and because
Right.
he can't talk. But the man was a genius, obviously.
Right.
That's part of the training that goes into that. Just because they have autism or a disability and they might not be able to communicate under conventional means doesn't mean that they can't communicate at all. We're trained to try and figure out what that communication is, how they communicate. This way we can properly interview them. We try not to use yes and no questions because be leading, but with someone with limited abilities, sometimes it's all you can do.
Sometimes it's all you can do.
Right.
So when I work with clients, one of the greatest tools that I learned is something called motivational interviewing. You ask open-ended questions. In my case, this allows my client to come to their own conclusions. But in your case, this actually allows them to develop the picture for your investigation, I would assume.
Yes, it does.
Right. And I think one of the greatest things that I'm sorry, but I got to put this out there because there's a misconception and a misperception of what happens behind the blue line. And they say, well, you need more training there. You need more training. The thing is, your training is constant. So therefore, you're constantly updating your thinking. And I think that's a message that needs to be delivered.
You're on constant download.
Yes. Even from my time here, with the training I received initially on how to interview children has changed dramatically to what we do now. Like in the beginning, and I'm sure you've probably seen it on TV and whatnot, we had the generic picture of a child not wearing any clothes. Their genitalia was not drawn in, but they'd be asked, where were you touched? And the child would circle on their body where they were touched and so forth. And again, now that's like obsolete. We barely even use those except when we can't establish like a communication or a dialogue with the child, whether it's because the child is embarrassed, doesn't want to talk. Sometimes children want to talk because they're ashamed of what happened to them.
Right, exactly.
They get in trouble from whomever, their parent or whatever parent.
In the previous
open-ended questions.
In the previous segment, you had talked about compartmentalizing what you see and what you experience, and then you brought it home, like, and then I go home and I see my kids and I make sure I kiss them hello or goodbye or good night or whichever, right? So there is also another disservice that happens to people behind the blue line. Now you own this. Once you see something, you own it, right? You have this thing, we'll call it. So what happens for a gentleman like yourself who, this is your job, this is what you do for a living, right? This is not who you are as a person, this is what you are, who you are professionally. Now, what services do they offer you? Because like everybody needs to hit the relief button.
There are different units that we can talk to. I personally haven't used them, so I can't speak of how good they are, so I won't say that they're bad by any means. But there are a few units that we can call should we need to speak with someone. One of them is called the Papa unit. I don't remember what the other one is called because it's a fairly newer unit.
Mm-hmm.
And you can call them if you have problems or so forth. And then you can, just talk to your friends and whatnot, at work.
Right.
But they also do send us for training. Training isn't really a good word for it, but last year when suicides amongst police officers were literally averaging like one a month, they sent us for, again, suicide training rather isn't the right word, but that's what they call it. It was suicide training I don't know why they came up with that name, but
no, well, I understand.
Yeah.
So I'm a mental health first aid instructor, right? That's one of the things that I do. And as someone that has coached officers in special victims units in different places, I've seen and heard or been told things that, there's certain things you're not supposed to experience in life. Right? So you're taught about this thing called the golden rule, right?
Right.
Be nice, share, hold hands when you cross the street. Simple things like this. Things like say hello, say thank you, say please, hold out the chair for a woman, hold the door open for the person behind you. You're taught these things, but unfortunately, the world we live in is not quite that.
No.
No, it's actually quite the opposite.
Yes, it is.
And so what happens is we talked about PTSD on a previous show, which is it's like a moral injury. So everything you've been taught in this world on how you're supposed to be, then you witness something that literally defies all of those lessons. And there's a misunderstanding and a misconception or misperception of what PTSD is or who has PTSD.
Yeah.
I would assume you have people on the force that are familiar with that.
Yes.
I mean, how could you not be?
Everybody, I don't care who you are on any police job. At some point or another, you have at least one incident that you will reflect on for the rest of your life.
Yes.
100%.
And you must have many.
I have more than a few.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is why we back the blue, and why this show is specifically interesting to me. When you train to do a job, right? So a job is it's a professional, mutually beneficial relationship. I provide my service. I am paid for that service, correct? Now, you provide a service that is intense, man.
Yes.
I think that there's so many things that need to be addressed here. You are protecting our children. What could the community, what could we do to be more supportive?
Of the police department?
Sure.
Or
anyone for that, man. I believe in this thing. Call me crazy. I believe in this thing called civic responsibility.
Yeah.
I mean, people run away from that, but seriously, you're protecting our community. What should the people in the community be doing?
they should be looking to assist us, especially when it's a crime against a child. Because
Of course.
I'm sure both of you are in agreement that a crime against a child is more heinous than a crime against an adult.
Yes.
The child can't defend themselves.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Joe, what would you
and-
say is the worst case you have ever seen? Can we talk about that?
Seen or like one of
Or
mine,
investigated?
I investigated the murder of a 6-month-old.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
Joe.
Where that case is closed, and that was it was on the same night that officers Ramos and Lau were shot as well.
Oh.
Yeah,
we're gonna get into that.
We're gonna get
We're gonna get
right
into
back.
that.
Oh my
We're gonna
God.
take a commercial break right now. I think we all need
Oh my
it.
God. Talk about getting hit by a left and a right. Oh my
Exactly.
God, Joe, you're the best, man. Oh my God.
We're gonna take a little break and we'll be back in just a minute.
Oh.
Ben, I found the greatest invention ever.
Okay.
I went to take my patio furniture out.
Okay.
And I realized that last year, when I put it all away, I put them in these big zipper bags from Wrap America.
Yes.
Life-changing.
Yes. No. Rap America is awesome. Tommy definitely helped me out on a few different occasions.
It holds patio furniture, wave runners, ATVs. It's weather resistant.
Advanced protection wrap
Yes.
is economical and a practical choice.
So call 516-830-0040, or you can go onto their website, wrap-america.com.
All right, since we have a meeting after this in West Islip,
Yes.
I got a place for us to go.
Oh, you do?
Because I'm going to be hungry, so we're going to go to Our Little Italy, 636 Union Boulevard, West Islip, New York, 11795. If you want to know, call 631-661-6246. Pickup and delivery are available. Ask for John. Go on www.ourlittleItalymenu.com to find out what they have.
Oh, I heard they have good chicken parm. Hey, Ben,
Yes.
I need to talk about solar energy.
Okay. I want to hear about
Lighthouse
it.
Energy Partners. Go solar and start saving today.
Makes sense.
Owner, operated by women.
Ooh.
We believe in order to close the gender gap in the energy field, we need to showcase key female players and keeping them behind the scenes. Their mission is to serve clients with the highest level of integrity, stability, and respect by viewing their customers as partners. Any energy project you have in mind, call on Lighthouse Energy, www.lighthouseenergypartners.com, 631-275-0091, located in Babylon Village, New York.
So I have great news. Since we do this show on divorce, when divorce hits, maybe you want to sell the house. Maybe you need a C of O, a certificate of occupancy for certain things in the house. So if you're looking to make some home improvements, need an architect, contact Certified Drafting. Selling your home, need permits for existing structures, need a property survey, contact Certified Drafting. Certified Drafting will handle all building department matters, serving Long Island for over 20 years. www.certifieddrafting.com, office number 516-844-0420, or you can email Kevin Daly at certifieddrafting.com. Tell them you heard about this from the show, from Breaking the Vow. You're going to receive a 10% discount.
We love Kevin.
I love Kevin. I think that's pretty awesome.
And we're back.
Oof.
I know.
Joe, man.
Joe,
You
hit
are-
us with a 1-2 punch right before commercial break.
So wait a second. Here it is. You're telling us about a 6-month-old that was murdered. And then right after that, it was the same night where...
Same night. The
Same
two
night.
officers were shot.
Executed.
Executed.
I will not
Yeah,
say shot. I will
that's
say
true.
executed.
Yes.
So, and how is that? So, and we got people saying, "Oh, defund the police."
What?
Defund. Oh, wait.
We don't want to. We don't even want to say that on the show. We're
We
not.
don't. But my point is, okay. So then let's talk about that for a brief second. Right, but still, you are solving a murder of a 6-month-old, which I'm pretty sure at 6 months he never cursed, never stayed up past its bedtime, never even lied about its homework.
Never talked back.
Never talked back. And that happens. And yet you're out there trying to solve that crime. How? I don't understand, man. How could anyone say what the police do is not the most important service?
We are not talking about that because to us, and our message is, it is the most important.
I think we're pointing it out, though. I think we're being very obvious. Joe, what do you say? You're allowed to curse. I'm trying not to.
Well, I think you guys are great, obviously, but I think that people...
I'm pretty handsome. I'm not going to lie.
Listen, Joe's more handsome than you.
He is, but he's bigger, stronger, and he's got a gun. Who's going to argue with him?
I don't know why people say defund the police when we're out there providing a vital service. I mean, this kid's in the example I just gave, this kid's father killed his own son
at 6 months old.
At 6 months old. And again, we were out there doing. I was everything that night. That was the night. Again, officers Ramos and Lau were murdered.
Ugh.
God bless the dead, by the way.
God bless.
And for obvious reasons, we couldn't get crime scene to where we were because they were
Right, they were there
at Ramos and Lau.
Yeah.
So myself, and we were working with a skeleton crew in my office. It was just myself, another detective, and my sergeant. And I was everything that night. I was the investigator. I was crime scene. I had to speak with all the doctors when they, because he was well, we don't know exactly what he did, but the father turned this kid's brain to soup.
Like shaken baby syndrome or something?
It was worse than that.
Or you beat him to death?
That's the way it looked. This is one of the cases that stays with me because I also had to
see the.
You had to see it. You were there.
Not just that, I had to be present during the autopsy. And my kids were much younger at the time, so I'm literally on minimal sleep.
Yeah.
I have in the medical examiner's office. And now I'm watching the medical examiners literally dissect a child in front of me.
Oh, my God.
Standing right there because they wanted me in there. Because we also had a child abuse specialist in my building with what I do. And she was there with the medical examiner. And they wanted us to point out, well, the medical examiner was doing her job. And the child abuse specialist was pointing different things out to me, and I'm observing, and I'm trying to notice other things to see if there was anything else that the other set of eyes missed. But that's one of the things that stays with me. And the medical examiners, obviously, they've been doing that for years and years and years. So
yeah, but still, I defy anybody. And I don't care what your job is.
It doesn't matter. That stays with you for the rest of your life.
Right. And when they came down to when they dissected the child's or whatever you want to call it, the child's skull, it was like a broken eggshell.
So listen, before we go any further, I'm just going to let you know, my name is Ben Kimmel. I'm really easy to find. There is a meal and an open door policy. Anytime, any day, you come in, you sit at my house, you sit at the table, and we at least let us feed you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm gonna break something again. We gotta stop with these shows.
Joe,
I swear to God.
Joe, you know I don't cook, but I can order the hell out of anything you
She makes really good reservations, man. Really good reservations. You
must know my.
Listen,
I do.
I talk about this often. So when I started to try to do work with different police initiatives, and I wanted to do work in the jails, is because I got tired of listen, I've been in recovery, man. I have friends that didn't make it the same way. And, I got really tired of watching people losing people in my life to recidivism or going back into jail with this they're just revolving door.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of create something. And so one could say, I have sat across from people that society or most people would say, these are monstrous, dangerous people. And sometimes these subjects come up in my empowerment classes in jail, or did at least pre-pandemic. Post-pandemic, It's all different, right? But I mean, it's amazing what the judgment is. Like, oh, this person's I've met people, tough guys, quote unquote. Not tough enough to stay out of prison, but still, right? And when you talk about this, you want to see emotion.
Yeah.
You got this guy's like, yo, my man, I ain't seen my kid in 5 years. I'm here, and if I can get out of here, I'm gonna give my kid a hug. And this guy, I'm still trying not to curse, man. This guy just killed his kid.
Yeah,
So
I can't.
I'm just going to let you
can't.
know that person, wherever he is got to be the part that is hard for me to deal with. That person has to be protected by law.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, no one does. No one does. That person's got to be protected by law.
I'm
But
not a fan.
I gotta ask, knowing what this man did, right, and then being an officer that has to not only cuff him, but
Joe,
take
did
him
you have to cuff him? Did you
Yes.
have to take him? You had to take him in?
Yeah.
unharmed.
Oh my God, you're such a better person
I
than
want
I
to. I
am.
want to mention unharmed.
He would have never made it.
He was unharmed.
Yeah. Oh my
We
God,
had
Joe.
we had him in what we call the box for probably a couple hours, trying to get him to talk to us about what happened.
Did he fess?
He did, but not at that point. He wound up taking a plea at court, and part of the plea, he had to admit it. He's still serving. We charged him with murder, but because he took a plea, he got charged with manslaughter.
Manslaughter.
And how long has he got?
He's probably got another 15 years to go.
Yeah. Well, one could hope that he doesn't make it out, but I'm
Yeah.
just
saying.
Yeah, I mean, listen, folks, please forgive me. I am a life coach. I'm a lot of different things, and
Not being
I am
very
a lover of life. But there's a special place in hell for that guy. He killed a 6-month-old child. That's a life that didn't even get a chance to live.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God. So yeah, I need therapy too, just so you know.
I think everyone needs therapy. We all do.
Yeah, but you know what? Why can't we be honest?
I am.
No, you are. Joe is, but there's people like, oh no, you have to be a certain way. We're all human.
Yeah, we're all
Everybody's human. That's why I said it's strange when a badge goes on a person, all of a sudden you become like this separate entity, as if you no longer have the right to think, have feelings.
and
you're a machine.
you're human.
Does that make does that make sense to you what I just said, or no?
It does, and you're no longer when I come to work, I'm no longer Joe Giramonte. I'm Detective Giramonte.
Right. It's different.
It's different. The police department just wants you to do your job, and they don't want you to bring anything from home to work.
Right.
They tell you not to bring work home either, but obviously,
But
that's the trick,
how
ain't
do you
it?
not? There's no way you can't.
Right. It doesn't work that way.
No.
Either way. Come home to work or work from home.
Especially from where you sit. That's just totally not true.
So again, we talk about this thing called that moral injury or that post-traumatic stress injury. When we come back, I really want to spend time with this, because the fact that we're updating our training and thinking is what keeps police at work.
Yes.
This is what people think. Oh well, they went through this and then they just go bust somebody else.
No,
inaccurate.
It's not like that.
All right, so let's do a commercial real quick, and Joe, we're gonna start over
back.
You. Okay.
Ben, I found the greatest invention ever.
Okay.
I went to take my patio furniture out.
Okay.
And I realized that last year, when I put it all away, I put them in these big zipper bags from Wrap America.
Yes.
Life-changing.
Yes. No. Wrap America is awesome. Tommy definitely helped me out on a few different occasions.
It holds patio furniture, wave runners, ATVs. It's weather resistant.
Advanced protection wrap.
Yes.
Is economical and a practical choice.
So call 516-830-0040, or you can go onto their website, wrap-america.com.
All right, since we have a meeting after this in West Islip,
yes,
I got a place for us to go.
Oh, you do?
Because I'm going to be hungry, so we're going to go to Our Little Italy, 636 Union Boulevard, West Islip, New York, 11795. If you want to know, call 631-661-6246. Pickup and delivery are available. Ask for John. Go on www.ourlittleItalymenu.com to find out what they have.
Oh, I heard they have good chicken parm. Hey, Ben.
Yes?
I need to talk about solar energy.
Okay. I want to hear about
Lighthouse
it.
Energy Partners. Go solar and start saving today.
Makes sense.
Owner, operated by women.
Ooh.
We believe in order to close the gender gap in the energy field, we need to showcase key female players and keeping them behind the scenes. Their mission is to serve clients with the highest level of integrity, stability, and respect by viewing their customers as partners. Any energy project you have in mind, call on Lighthouse Energy, www.lighthouseenergypartners.com, 631-275-0091, located in Babylon Village, New York.
So I have great news. Since we do this show on divorce, when divorce hits, maybe you want to sell the house. Maybe you need a C of O, a certificate of occupancy for certain things in the house. So if you're looking to make some home improvements, need an architect, contact Certified Drafting. Selling your home, need permits for existing structures, need a property survey, contact Certified Drafting. Certified Drafting will handle all building department matters, serving Long Island for over 20 years. www.certifieddrafting.com, office number 516-844-0420, or you can email Kevin Daly at certifieddrafting.com. Tell them you heard about this from the show, from Breaking the Vow, and you're going to receive a 10% discount.
We love Kevin.
I love Kevin. I think that's pretty awesome. All right, we're back now, and this is our last segment of the show, so we want to talk about having a constructive conclusion. And Joe, again, it's an honor to have you on the show.
We love you, Joe.
You are the best, and if there's anything I could do to show my support to any special victim or anything.
Yeah, we back the blue.
Yeah, without a doubt. You don't even have to ask. Just call. I get out of bed. I get calls in the middle of the night. So, and that's for strangers. Imagine what I would do for you.
Don't tell Joe that, because now he's going to call you at 3:30 a.m.
He's got a nice voice. I might like it. So,
I'm up that late sometimes too. So.
Listen, we were talking.
Drive home from work.
We were talking during the break a little bit about PTSD. We were also talking about so Joe, when you go to a restaurant, where do you usually sit? With your family, by the way.
I was just going to say, it depends on who I'm with. If my family all knows to leave certain seats, whatever seat's facing the front door, that's the seat that I'm sitting in.
Right.
Yeah.
You want to know.
See?
You want to know all angles, correct?
Yeah.
All angles, if I can help it.
And that is pretty much instilled in you.
Yes.
See,
Right,
I
'cause of
wouldn't
what you've
care.
seen.
Right. I walk in, I'm like, yeah, okay, put me wherever. I don't care. But that makes total sense when you say that, Joe.
So I talk about this thing called theft of service. On top of the fact that you've seen things that you're not designed to see.
Yeah,
We're not
is.
designed
No one
to
is.
see a child go through that.
No one is.
Right. So on top of this, now you go home and you are a human. You're not a detective. You're your dad, your husband,
Right.
a friend, a brother, cousin, whatever. Right. But yet your attention is still slightly diverted because how do you let down that guard and then pick it up later? Right. And I think it's really important that I think it's a disservice that happens to law enforcement that people forget, like, hey, these are people, humans, right, with families as well. So to assume that you are a robot or just some
Right.
mechanical creature would be pretty inaccurate, right?
Yeah.
Secondly, we need to have a different interaction. Like I say every time I see an officer, first of all, if I have MTAPD as a tenant in the building where I work, they all know me by now. I make sure I do whatever I can to make them laugh, let them know that someone cares, and it's a great relationship. The only problem is one time there was a fire in my building, and they wouldn't let me in. But since MTAPD knows me, they're like, "You want to go inside?" I'm like, "No, if I go in, I got to work now." They're like, "Go in, don't worry about it." So it was cool to have friends. But you want to know. So the thing is, policemen aren't the enemy.
No, I don't know why in this world anybody ever thought they were.
criminals are the enemy.
Right.
Like I'm sorry. I want someone protecting my neighborhood. I want someone protecting my country. I don't want someone degrading it or hurting it. Right.
But at the end of the day, there's good people and there's bad people.
100%.
There's
And the
really
greatest
no,
thing, right? The greatest thing about updating your training, updating your thinking, is you can actually weed out this. So how many people are on the NYPD police force? Do you have any idea? A lot.
It's like 36,000.
36,000. So it is the largest, from what I'm to understand, the largest municipal police force in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Also the most diversified. So diversity, equity, and inclusion is celebrated in the NYPD. But they don't talk about that.
No.
Nobody talks about that.
Why?
Not at all.
No, well, because it doesn't fit the narrative. So,
Oh.
and I don't do politics.
We don't care about narratives.
I don't do politics. And before the show, folks, we did say a few things.
Yeah,
and,
we kind of did,
and, and the kind detective's like, ha ha.
Wait a minute. He did not answer.
He did not answer. You didn't, did you?
No.
And no one even knows what we're talking about.
Right.
But I still say it's true. So, Joe, I love you. I swear to God, we're gonna hang out. I can't wait to hang out. So, what do you want people to know, man? Seriously, like, this is the last segment. Is all about a constructive conclusion. How can we bring this show to a constructive conclusion? What do you want the takeaway to be from this show when people listen?
Well, that the police aren't the enemy. I mean, we know 90%, if not more, of the time when you encounter a police officer, that's usually on, especially with what I do, that's usually on the worst day of your life.
Yeah.
And we understand that, and we do the best that we can with our training and so forth. And we try to help you any way that we can. We don't always get it right. We're by no means perfect. But we are always there to help, no matter what.
Right.
And in the worst situation, you called us and we're there to help you no matter what.
Right.
And people just need to be a little more understanding that for us, it's not just a job, it's a calling to help.
Right.
So there was, I don't want to say too many, I don't want to say any neighborhoods, I don't want to say anything. There was a, let's call it a demonstration or a protest. And they were coming through a neighborhood to do less than kind things. And the people that lived in the neighborhood explained, not here, man. So the people that came to protest that were screaming to defund the police, called the police. I was like, and nobody sees the irony in that, right?
Nobody saw the irony in that.
We're calling the police on you because you stood there with the guns. Homie, you were coming in there to like bust up the neighborhood. Listen, I drive through the city, and I was walking through a street, and I saw someone I knew that I work with, and he's like, he goes, "Listen, Benny, you better get off the street because they're coming around the corner." I'm like, "Buddy, you better get inside. I'll blend in." Like he's a suit and a tie guy. I'm a heavily tattooed fat kid. Like, no one's gonna. I'm not afraid. They're not looking at me like that guy is the problem. I think that I think the problem is we've made this a situation of racism, which I don't understand how we can, because largely the officers that were, hurt, they were a different ethnicity. So I think we really got to think very clearly as a society where we want to go, what we want to start, what we want to create, where are we going to create a sense of unit cohesion so that we can all at least try to get along, put the virus behind us, try to just go outside and enjoy. I mean, first off, I can't wait for them to open the city up. How's COVID been for you, man?
I worked through it the whole time, and it was scary in the beginning. I've never seen Manhattan that empty.
Ghost town, yeah, sure.
Ghost town. Now, how was it during COVID and, let's say, child abuse cases? Did they go up?
No, they didn't go up until Zoom meetings or Zoom classes or whatever they were.
Homeschooling and all that stuff, right?
Right, because the teachers weren't seeing their students.
Right.
So their reports went down. And unless a child was hurt to the point where a parent or a guardian had to take the child to the hospital.
then they only then would they know. Oh, that's right.
See, the problem with having everything shut down and no socialization.
It's just that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So school is socialization for a child.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's like where they learn a lot of things more than what you learn more in the hallways in school than you do in class.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
And
You
no,
Learn more on the bus.
or the back seat of the bus. I'm not saying anything else. I'm just saying
That was you. I didn't
I
sit in the back seat of the bus.
I know I tried. So so like you learn how to live, how to coexist. Bullying doesn't end, by the way,
No,
in
it doesn't.
school. It kind of, I see it in corporate America all the time.
It exists on social media.
Oh my God, social media.
Social media.
Yeah.
We get a lot of, well, not us personally, but I see a lot of bullying cases on social media.
Yeah.
And some of our cases tie into social media. Like kids will get bullied because someone will record something that this child did willingly, and now
Yes, I've seen it.
being bullied because of what they did.
Yeah.
I was walking on 42nd Street. This was just before the pandemic really shut everything
You
down.
were walking or working?
Walked. I walked.
Okay.
I got an accent. So I was walking up 40 Deuce. And then I see these two guys like getting into it with one guy. And then one of them took a skateboard and whacked this guy over the head, split his head open and he was bleeding. There was a whole fight. I'm walking, and then at first I was like, what? Everyone's watching this, and they're videoing it with their phones.
Yeah.
Don't do anything to solve it.
Yeah.
Let's
Let me
create
just video it.
Yeah. Technology is not done us a
Right.
benefit.
Jerks.
And whatnot.
But listen, Joe, there was a great show, man. I'm so grateful to have you here. And
Thank
again,
you, Joe.
I want to make sure you get my personal information. I'm going to pass that along. Anything I can
Maybe
do
he
to be
doesn't
helpful.
want your personal information.
That could be true. Do you not find me attractive? I'll be better looking next time I say.
Anyway, I love you, Joe. Thank you so much for being on.
Not bad for your first podcast. No, you had a little fun?
Yeah.
I did. Thank you.
You're going to come back, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right, folks.
Thanks,
have a good one.
Joe. Peace out.
No problem. Bye.